Meet Shinzen Young, a Jewish Buddhist monk developing a science of happiness. Born Steve Young to a Los Angeles Jewish family, Shinzen became interested in East Asian cultures after his bar mitzvah. Now an accomplished meditation teacher, Shinzen focuses on dialogue between science and meditation.
Meditation is the best of the East. It's what the East developed better than any place else. Now, in the West, the same systematic approach was applied to the physical world, and it developed our modern sense of science. So a natural idea would be, well, if it were possible for the best of the East and the best of the West to cross-fertilize, if there was a basis for reinforcing each other, that would be, could be, maybe, an amazing innovation that would be powerful enough perhaps to change the course of human history for the better and fairly quickly.
The Israeli Center for Mindfulness, Science and Society, MUDA, and the Unit of Applied Neuroscience at the Interdisciplinary Center Herzliya invited Shinzen to run a day of guided meditation and lectures on the Buddhist practice of mindfulness.
Your experience of hearing might be physical sound, like my voice. But it might also be mental talk.
Explaining mindfulness to a Western audience, Shinzen describes the practice as an attentional skill set that can reduce suffering while elevating fulfillment from the pleasant sides of life. In other words, a threefold skill set that can make you happy.
The three parts of the skill set are concentration, the ability to focus on what you want to focus on; sensory clarity, the ability to untangle what part is physical in the body, what part is emotional in the body, what part is visual in the thought, what part is auditory in the thought; the untangling, the sensory clarity; and then equanimity, the ability to allow the body sensations, the visual and auditory thoughts to come and go without push and pull. When these three come together, we have mindful awareness. Now we're going to focus just on body experience for a moment.
Dr. Nava Levitt Binun, an expert in developmental neuroscience and biological psychology and the head of MUDA Center, advocates that teaching mindfulness practice to kids from a young age is important in today's fast-paced world and has been reported to improve kids' performance in schools.
Mindfulness practice is developing skills that are skills regarding to concentration and attention regulation and to emotion regulation. And these skills are the basic skills needed for learning, for sitting in a class and learning.
Shinzen's scientific treatment of meditation makes spiritual practice more accessible to a wider audience.
This workshop was something different than usual because Shinzen is presenting the whole spectrum of meditation, this field of spiritual activity in a very methodological way. And being a scientist, it's appealing because it's easy to follow it with my Western mind.
Mindfulness is the closest thing that we have to the original teachings of the Buddha 2,500 years ago in India. So most people around the world would look upon the Buddha as a religious figure, but I personally look upon him as the first and so far greatest scientist of human happiness.
Having separated the practice of mindfulness from the framework of the Buddhist religion, Shinzen's way of teaching meditation in terms of developing attentional skills makes the science of happiness accessible to anyone.